Air Canada has announced it is revising its cancellation policy as frustration grows among Canadians who had flights cancelled because of COVID-19. Travelers now have the option of a voucher that won't expire or discount Aeroplan points, but still no offer of refunds. With more on this, we're joined by air passenger rights advocate Gabor Lukacs. Thanks so much for being here, Gabor.
Good morning.
So can you explain what is happening with the vouchers? Now, some of them have expiry dates. Is that why the policy revision? What's going on?
What is happening that the Canadian airlines are trying to steal the public's money. They have taken the public's cash, offering flights, then cancel those flights and are refusing to provide a refund as required by law. That has a name. It's called theft. In order to create an air of legitimacy to this theft, the airlines are saying, but we are offering vouchers. So initially, the cover story was that the voucher will expire in 24 months. Now the cover story changes to a non-expiring travel voucher. But the fact remains, passengers are shortchanged. Passengers are deprived of their own money in a situation where people need to have their money for buying groceries, for paying for utility bills, for mortgages, and so on and so forth.
Now, are some of the airlines sort of, would you say they're sort of hiding behind any of their policies around cancellation and how much you paid for the ticket?
Airline policies cannot override the law. The law is that passengers are entitled to a refund when their flight is canceled. The airline cannot alter their policies after the tickets were sold and cannot rely on policies that contradict the law. It's one of the basic tenets of any kind of consumer transaction that if the merchant is not able to provide you with the goods that or services that you paid for, then they have to give you back your money.
Okay, so how about arguments though that the airline industry is also struggling and they can't afford just to give all these refunds, that they might actually go bankrupt? What do you say to that?
First of all, it's a false statement. Air Canada is sitting on $2.6 billion, as I understand, of consumer money, and they have about $5 billion of liquidity after $1 billion of losses they have incurred. So the money is there. If a company is not able to meet its financial obligations, it has to resort to the well-established procedures, which is called a restructuring. The CCAA, the Companies Creditors Arrangements Act, is meant for that. Those decisions are done in a proper legal framework under the supervision of a judge. Just because they don't feel like paying, but they do have the money, doesn't entitle them to just override the law. Financial hardship does not override the law. If we were to accept that, then every Canadian who is facing now a financial hardship could walk into the supermarket, take off some items from the shelf and give vouchers to the cash and say, I will pay you later. Is that what we really want as a society, to just to say, let's forget about the rule of law and just do a need-based society?
And so some people have taken this into their own hands, you as well. There are several petitions that are circulating calling for these full refunds. What can you tell us?
We have a petition that has collected more than 46,000 signatures. There is a petition initiated by Bloc Québécois, member of parliament on parliament's website, that last time I checked, it was a day or two ago, had around 17,000 signatures. I hope that by today we are well past 20,000. So there are a number of initiatives, and the public is clearly not accepting this. The law is clear, and what the airlines are doing is they're trying to legitimize theft, fraud, embezzlement of the money of the public.
Okay, we'll have to leave it right there. Thanks so much for joining us. That's Gabor Lukacs.
Thank you very much for having me.